Good evening, folks, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pilot Review Show. I am Captain Blade J52, and I am joined by two of my merry cohorts this evening. We have our Neela of the Daton variety.
What up, all? Alonzi.
And we have everyone's favorite teacher of the Kirby variety.
Hello.
So, we're getting
How's it going?
Oh, go ahead.
Good. I was just saying, how's it going tonight?
I was going to say, we're getting a bit of a late start this evening, later than we usually do. There's some weather that has been rolling through this area. It's actually still storming at the time that we recorded this and broadcasted this and everything. I am continuing to keep an eye on it so I don't end up back in the land of Oz because, yeah, those munchkins weren't too happy, the last time I was there, so...
Well, you're the one that broke the date.
I mean, it was...
She has a point.
There was that one munchkin that was kind of mad that I was going to try to date his sister. I mean, it just got all kinds of weird. But...
And then the other munchkin that was mad that you went dating him.
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. I don't roll that way. But, anyways, Artie may end up joining us. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to get to make it tonight, folks. But he should be back with us this next week. He is, in Artie's case, some of the Rainbow Dashes from the last time he was on the holodeck, they broke out. They wanted a little bit of revenge and decided to chase him down. And, yeah, there's kind of My Little Pony body parts everywhere, so it's kind of weird at the moment.
I heard that Q did that to him.
Not surprising. But, anyways,
Yeah.
We've got some stuff to get into this week for you guys, and one of the things you'll notice is we're actually on the bridge of the new freighter. So, you can kind of see this, and once we get through the blogs, I'll have to take you guys on a little tour of the ship. We'll have to see how that goes.
No, you're not seeing double. There are two Corneliciouses.
Yeah, they're multiplying. Shoot me, please. But anyways, folks, let's dive right on into this. Now, the first thing we have is actually a new weekly stream that is going to be hosted by everyone's favorite community manager, our own Ambassador Kale. This will be the 10 Forward weekly stream, and gotta say, it was rather comical this last time around. Everything when Ambassador Kale showed some of his voiceover talent to us.
Yep.
Have to say, I was laughing my hind end off the entire time he was playing.
Yes, it was quite amusing.
Yeah, that's, it's gonna be 4 p.m. trying to find the exact, time it was gonna say.
4 p.m. Pacific time.
There it is. And I believe this is, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific. So, yeah. It's a brand new stream. Definitely come out to the stream. Check it out for Ambassador Kale. Pretty cool dude. And you never know what kind of shenanigans he might get into.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's...
There are two ways.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say there's two ways to check it out. At their Facebook page or on their Twitch channel, and both are linked in the blog, which we have a link to. We'll have a link to in our YouTube version.
Yep. And at some points, folks, he did break out the swag bag and give some stuff away, as did some of the other developers, such as Bordicus and Thomas the Cat, that were kind enough to join him for a while. So definitely check it out, and you might get something from that swag bag, you never know. But that brings us to our next big thing, which is actually our freighter that we were on.
Yep.
But,
Is it my turn or yours, Neela?
You want to take...
No, go ahead.
Having a coughing fit.
Okay. That would be why we didn't hear anything.
Neela's a little under the weather, folks, so if you hear him hacking up a lung or trying to cough up a tribble, think nothing of it.
Well, he shouldn't have tried to figure out how many tribbles he could fit in his mouth on that bet in Ryza.
Well, in his defense, he was a little inebriated.
He was.
And it was an owl that told me, that wanted to know how many licks it takes to get to the center of a tribble.
And there it is, folks.
Never trust an owl that wants to know how to get to the center of anything.
I think that's kind of obvious at
true.
this point.
Yep.
But,
Alright. You ready there, Neela?
Yeah, you just go ahead and do that one. Grab it
Okay.
for that later.
So, we have our Smuggler's Heavy Escort, which we are actually on the bridge of. And this is coming from our R&D promotion. So, from this last Thursday until June 15th, 2017 at 10 a.m., when you buy an R&D pack from the C-Store, it will have the ability to either give you 10 Lobi or give you this ship. And so during the promotion, all R&D packs from the C-Store, and this is called the Amari class Smuggler's Heavy Escort. Now, we need to be clear that if you buy the packs during the promotion and wait to open them after the promotion, they will still have this special feature, so it will not go away. If you bought the packs during the promotion and you keep them in your inventory or in your account bank or wherever, there's still going to be promotional packs after the 15th of June, so don't worry.
you just won't be able to buy any newer packs.
You just won't be able to buy any more, right? Unless you buy them off the exchange.
Then there's that, yeah.
Yes, there's that. Okay. And then this does have some stats. So this is actually based off of, where is it? So this starship adapted straight from the screen of Unification, Part 1, which was Star Trek TNG Season 5, Episode 7. Okay, it gives it some additional backstory. And this is part of Cryptic's continuing celebration of the 30th anniversary of the Next Generation. So our stats, so it is Tier 6, available to all factions, and it is, let's see, hull strength is 46,000 at level 60, not too terrible. Shield modifier is 1.35, has 5 fore weapons, 2 aft weapons, 2 device slots, and let's see. Bridge officer stations, a lieutenant tactical / pilot, commander tactical, ensign engineering, lieutenant commander science, lieutenant commander universal / intelligence. Consoles, we have 5 tactical, 2 engineering, 4 science. It's shaping up to be quite a nice little ship here. Base turn rate 15 degrees. That's not bad at all. You get the standard plus 15 to weapon power, 5 to engines. The console that comes with it is the supplemental weaponry. It can load dual cannons, has a cloaking device, has a heavy weapon slot, comes with the heavy weapon slam shot, magnetic artillery. Has some onboard amenities, almost said that wrong. Has a trader contact, quartermaster vendor, bank, mail, and exchange access. So this is actually quite similar to the Suliban cell ship. And it also has the mastery package for destroyer, and the trait is called reverberation starship trait. So let's take a look at that heavy weapon. This slow firing kinetic cannon suffers from an accuracy penalty, but can cripple a foe with a single shot when it hits. In addition to high damage payload, It leaves a lingering kinetic damage resistance rating debuff on the target. It may be upgraded like a standard weapon, swapped out for another heavy weapon, and placed in any other starship's heavy weapon slot. So this is a nice, looks like a nice little weapon. Supplemental weaponry. So this console, let's see. When this console's ability is activated, 2 artillery launchers will unleash a series of kinetic damage blasts into the space within 5 kilometers ahead of the vessel in a 180-degree arc over the course of several seconds. Each foe caught in this barrage will receive heavy kinetic damage with a chance of having their shields knocked offline with each hit. This console also provides a passive boost to critical severity with projectile weapons and tactical readiness. May be equipped in any console slot but may only be used on the Armory class Smuggler's Heavy Escort, which means you can only use it on this ship. Okay, but it's a universal, so it can be used in any slot. The reverberation trait after achieving level 5. Okay, while this starship trait is slotted, dealing damage to any foe with a projectile weapon will grant you a reverberation charge at a maximum rate of 1 per second. Each reverberation charge grants a stacking 10% chance to knock your opponent's shields offline for 5 seconds when using projectile weapons. On a successful deactivation, all charges are consumed and you are locked out of building up charges for several seconds. Okay, and it shows our Admiralty stats: Engineering 20, Science 44, Tax 62, and its special ability ignores plus or minus engineering from events. Okay, and it has a brand new custom bridge and interior, which includes many of the amenities seen in lower tier freighters, and we've already gone over this: trader, quartermaster, bank, mail, and exchange access. Whew, that was a mouthful.
Now, we don't actually get to do this too often with these new ships on day 1, but since I've got the ship, I'll go ahead and show you guys some of the stats. Now, you can see some of the stats from the railgun. Now keep in mind, the stats you're looking at are straight out of the box. I quite literally just opened this before we started streaming so we could actually meet here. I've not done anything with it, naming, consoles, anything. You can see, just straight stock gear. And then the console itself actually gives a pretty hefty passive bonus. It is 20% critical severity with projectile weapons and 50 tactical readiness. And then you can kind of see some of the other damages, hopefully, that it does as far as the mastery unlocks. You can see it's the 5 accuracy, 15% crit severity for free, 2.5 crit chance, 10% kinetic and energy damage. So again, a pretty good mastery package. And then we might as well show off the bridge a little bit. Like I say, we normally don't get to do this, so I figure why not. Right here is actually the account bank. You can see over here where Neela is at. It is flickering just a little bit there. Anyways, let's head down this way. You can see there's quite a few rooms with different crew. Thank God they actually added the crew. Got of course, the sick bay for the doctor. You roll on down this way some.
Too bad they don't have the brig where you can jump in.
Oh, that would be funny. You can see here we've got a pretty good hallway. So which guy is in here? This is the, I believe, the mess hall type area. This is the chef and the bartender. Then you can kind of see the cargo area here. We could actually jump down from here if we wanted to, but yeah, what the heck. We'll actually jump down. We'll take the long way back up. Kind of see a pretty good-sized area. We actually have our trader right here for the Ferengi. And then over here, we have a quartermaster. Can see some of this out this way. The stairs go back up. I think the exchange, where did they put that now? But yeah. Run back up here. Like I say, I've still not entirely learned where everything is yet. But you kind of see a pretty good size.
I've got a ship selector behind the 2 Gornilla.
You do? Well, that answers
Yes.
where that's at. You can see, here's the engineer in the engine room. Want to believe that was the exchange. And that is that thing. We'll head back to the bridge. But anyways, you can see it's a pretty good sized area. Everything compared to normal.
Compared to the regular freighter.
Oh yeah.
It's just a long hallway. Just they need to add the crew to the freighters now.
Yeah, they
I'm
do.
a little
they
salty.
do. Then here's the access library files, contact duty officers, that sort of thing. Like I say, I'm still learning the ship and everything, but yeah. Anyways, I wanted to take a minute to actually show it to you guys because, like I said, we don't really get to do this too often, especially on day 1. But anyways, moving right along, we actually have our Tholian Red Alert weekend for consoles.
Yep. Basically, it's just the same old blog they do for the Tholian Red Alert weekend. They just decide to add in a little bit of fluff to the story of a ship captain going through the night crew, and then they get a call saying the Tholians are attacking the board. It's a nice little way to get some Tholian marks and up that Nukara rep if you don't like to do the Nukara ground stuff.
And to answer a quick question I see in the chat, actually first, thanks for the congrats on the ship. I actually worked out a deal with a fleet mate of mine, and that's how I came into possession of it. But, yeah. But
Anything else you guys want to add for the Tholian Red Alert?
I think you summed it up pretty good.
Nope, you summed it up really well. Get out there and get your Nukara marks.
Oh yeah.
And one thing I do like to do with those is go in and just sit there and just watch the Tholians play. And one
little bit of echo there.
Yep.
Yeah, play with the Tholians and make them go back and forth.
It is fun.
Tractor beam repulsors back and forth.
Grab wells. Those are fun as well.
Quite partial to vortex and stabilizing resonance myself.
We can combine all 4.
Oh, you can. It's lovely.
Yes, you can. It is.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet.
fusion cube forming.
Oh god.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, if y'all get the reference I just made, you had an awesome childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get the
And if you
reference that
didn't?
Neela made about fusion cubes, you played an epic game. But yeah, if you want to see the tactical fusion or regular fusion cubes in game, like I do, definitely let them know. Definitely tell Cryptic, because that would be something fun to see. But anyways, moving right along, we have the PC patch notes for the 25th. There's not really a lot to them. They did fix a couple of issues. One of the things that I know a lot of people weren't really happy about is they made it so that rifts will continue to spawn until the timer runs out. I know a lot of people were actually hoping that they would fix it so that once you closed all the rifts, it would just end the first phase. Sadly, that's not the case and everything. I personally would have liked to have seen that myself, but it is what it is. Resolved a graphics-related crash that frequently occurred in ground battle zones. Can't tell you the number of times I've seen that crash. People reporting it to me and everything, so that is a great thing that they fixed. Resolved an issue with the Hosnock warship where prevailing impulse engine visuals would appear very large in sector space. So a good thing for our Space Barbie folks out there. And added Energy Distributor Accelerator console to the Reclaim store. Only accessible if you own one of the Temporal Heavy Dreadnoughts. So, those of you that had the 26th century Dreadnoughts, such as the Universe class, if you were looking for a duplicate of the console, for whatever reason, then now you're able to reclaim those.
Couple things I noticed for our DPSers out there. Resolved an issue where the power level bonus from the Pilfered Power personal trait could stack. Try saying that 5 times fast. Pilfered Power personal trait.
Do it. Do it now.
No. But so that will no longer stack. Resolved an issue where tractor beam repulsors could cause the player to gain double the haste from the temporal cross-wiring specialization passive. So if you noticed that you're not getting as much haste when using tractor beam repulsors, that's normal. You're getting what you're supposed to get now. And resolved an issue that caused the smuggler's luck trait to display inconsistent cooldowns. So they should be consistent now.
Yep. But, like we're saying, not really a lot to all this as far as the patch notes go. Any thoughts from you, Neela?
Not really. Just the one thing that really I'm glad about is the enemies in the advanced version of the mirror cleanup after the end of the first phase.
That is pretty good, yeah.
So I remember doing it day one. I advanced, I wanted to see. Like, okay, there's like 1,000 ships.
Yeah.
And it's the flagship. What the hell?
And it proceeded to hand him his butt on a silver platter.
Actually, no. It handed my team a butt on a silver platter. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh, you guys gonna even break through my shield? Yawn.
Yeah, he would do that. We may or may not share build techniques and everything from time to time. And although I do give Neela grief, he is a pretty fairly talented player, I think.
Especially with Carfies.
Him and that Carfy.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Keldons are better, I mean, what?
Carfies are better.
Alright,
What?
boys.
But,
Alright, boys.
anyways, we will have the link to the notes for you guys, so you can check these out if you want to. And everything. But moving along, we have the 15% pack sale. For a PC, that is.
For PC, yep. So, 15% pack sale. Pretty simple. So the big packs, like the Temporal Special Agent pack, the Temporal Special Agent Starter pack, the Delta pack, the Legacy pack, or the Legacy of Romulus Starter pack, are all on sale, 15% off, and this is only through the ARC website. So this is not through the C-Store, which means you cannot buy these with Zen, you have to buy them with cash in order to get the discount. You can still buy them with Zen for the normal price from the C-Store.
Yes, but the C-Store versions will not benefit from the sale price.
Yeah. Important thing to note.
Yep. But, I know I personally actually bought the big Temporal Agent pack when it was first announced, and you actually do get a lot of stuff with these packs, and if you're somebody, you think that you're going to be playing the game for a while, you see yourself sticking around for a bit, then it may actually be worth it to you to actually go ahead and invest in one of these packs right now, especially while they're on sale. So, as far as to which pack that I would personally recommend,
Yeah.
if you're looking for the more modern ships and everything, then you would probably want to go with the Delta pack or one of the Temporal packs, because that gives you the most Tier 6 ships. If you don't really care about that and you just like ships that look good, maybe you want a more classic type of ship, such as Ye Olde D'Deridex, then you might want to consider investing in the Romulan pack.
Yeah, definitely the Delta pack, especially if you're Federation, has a very large amount of Tier 6 ships. It also comes with a few of the bridge officers with the intelligence specialization, which is always good, and especially if you're Romulan, they have both intelligence and SRO, Superior Romulan Operative, which is something that you definitely want on your Romulan bridge officers. As far as the Temporal Agent packs, I really liked the Special Agent pack, the big one. It comes with all of the ships, all of the different era ships, which was very, very nice especially when you're leveling up characters. It's very nice to have all of those ships if this is your first pack. It's very nice to have ships available at all levels to be able to put your characters in.
Indeed.
And yeah, so that was very nice. And I gotta tell you, those 31st century ships are beasts. Still some of my favorite ships.
I would actually argue that all of them are. But
Yeah.
I've got it pulled up in game so I can kind of give you guys an idea of what you're getting. I realize not everybody's going to be able to invest in the pack of this size because it is normally around, I think it's 120, isn't that what it was?
150, I think. I could be wrong.
Okay, so somewhere around in that range. and
Somewhere
everything.
around there.
So for a lot of people, you might not be able to do this and everything, but if you are able to invest in one of the larger packs, you're definitely going to get the best bang for your buck. To give you an example, for the Temporal Agent pack, the large one, you get the Constitution class, the TOS. This is the low-level version of the ship. That also comes with the Enterprise-era phasers that will match your level. So very, very good for starting new tunes. You get the Daedalus class science vessel, the Perseus escort, the Ranger class battle cruiser, and those are some of the lower tiered ships. As far as the tier 6s, you get the Gemini class cruiser, the Paladin battle cruiser, the Nautilus science vessel tier 6, then you get the Sagittarius Tier 6, the Theseus Tier 6, the Multi-Mission Science Vessel Eternal, the Tier 6 Kronos, and the Tier 6 Ouroboros class. So you get the 31st century ships that are not faction specific. You also get a 0718 bridge officer from the JJ Trek films, if you were somebody that enjoyed that. 3 temporal agent operation packs. Then you also get 6 of the temporal operative specialization qualifications, which will allow you to train your bridge officers in the temporal spec. I misread that number for just a second. You get a TOS advanced EV suit. You also get a Vulcan Ambassador outfit, Tellarite uniform, Andorian uniform, Tauren uniforms, the Mirror Universe and Command uniforms, and also 3 titles of Temporal Agent, Chrononaut, and Time Traveler. So it is very well worth the investment, in my personal opinion. And just the ships alone, you've more than paid for itself with the pack.
And I do have the price of the pack. Normal price is $129.99. With the discount, it's $110.49.
So that's still a pretty good deal, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, it is.
As somebody pointed out in chat, he says, definitely worth it. The 31st pack alone is better, and the Zen you save can be better invested in trait ships or better ships. Everything. So, there we see a couple of testimonials from chat there and everything. But, yeah. Any final thoughts from you guys on our packs and everything?
Nope, just, if you can afford to get them, I would seriously consider one. They are very helpful.
Indeed. But moving along to our next big thing, we actually have a research and development sale going on for PC at the moment.
And this also ties into the R&D pack promo for the Amari class ship, because the R&D packs are normally 300 Zen. With this sale that goes from this past Thursday, May 25th, to this Monday, the 29th, the packs are now 240 Zen. So you're saving a little bit of Zen right there. And you get 15 common, uncommon, rare, and very rare R&D materials. 15 uncommon, rare, and very rare R&D. Oh no! Oh, that yes. Yeah, that's just this. Huh. Okay.
The first one has common included. It's random what you get.
Yeah.
The second one, it's only uncommon and above. That's why it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to do a double take there. 6 rare and very rare R&D materials, 4 very rare, 3 Mark II or better R&D components, 3 Mark 6 or better R&D components, 2 Mark 10 or better R&D components. You get 3 catalyst and 4 upgrade accelerators.
Yeah.
And if you do the bundle, which is 4 of the R&D packs, which is normally 1,000 Zen, it is 800 Zen for all 4.
And it is important to note you will receive 4 separate packs when making the bundle purchase, instead of one pack that unpacks 4. If that makes sense.
Yep.
Whose blog is this?
Whose blog is it?
I was just about to say that.
Okay, ladies.
Sorry.
I gotta give you grief somehow.
I know.
It's all good.
I can't say we don't bumble over ourselves every so often on here, because it definitely happens.
Yep.
We all love each other.
Yes, we do.
Oh, love's a strong word. I tolerate you people. No, I'm just kidding, but anyway. Y'all are a pretty cool bunch.
Do I have to switch Cornelius to the fan dance?
Okay, no. No, no, no.
I could give Goylicious, oh wait, no, never mind. It wouldn't work.
Could
Damn
give
it.
what now?
Damn it.
Hey, you walked right into that.
No, I was gonna say I could give him a nerf tonic, but it won't work because it's a male.
Kirby, I'm pretty sure he just face planted in it at that point.
Alright, here comes the fan dance.
Oh dear.
Oh god. Oh god. On that note.
So, folks, be very glad I don't have the camera zoomed in on that at the moment, and, yeah.
Big pink corn doing a fan dance.
But moving along, but wait, there's more!
Hang on. Neela to mirror his panties, one to beam out.
Oh my god. Now do you people out there in Twitch and YouTube land hear what I have to put up with?
You know you like it. But wait,
That's
there's
a
more.
strong word. But yes, and, special little bonus for our console players out there is, in addition to the 20% R&D sale, you guys are getting a 33% lifetime subscription sale. So for you guys out there on the console and everything, you will be able to grind up that Zen or just drop the cash, and you will be able to get the lifetime account thing, and you get a pretty good bunch of stuff with it. You get 3 of the Tier 6 Heavy Destroyers Veteran status, 1 for each faction, 3 of the Tier 5 versions, 3 Small Craft, 1 for each faction, 3 additional character slots, 30 bonus inventory slots as you level each character on an account, 60 bonus bank slots, 20 bonus account bank slots, 4 respect tokens per character, as well as 1 as you level up. You get 3 starship slots per character, 1 ship upgrade token sent via in-game mail, an additional dilithium refinement of 1,000 every 48 hours, a fireworks emote for your ships, faction-specific EV suits. You also unlock liberated Borg and Talaxians on Federation and Klingon factions. You get access to the captain's table, a exclusive costume insignia and veteran uniform pieces for each faction, a priority login, basically meaning you get first go at the login servers, a Mugato companion, 5% skill point and officer skill point boost buff to player and to the team, an android bridge officer, and it is important to note that the android bridge officer will come as the gender and also the desired career that you pick up. So some people may pick up a tactical android, some people may prefer science, or perhaps engineering, just whichever one you pick. You also get a costume piece of a Romulan Admiral uniform, a KDF shoulder cape, and the Federation Jupiter uniform variant. You also get several titles, which include the Relentless, Valiant, Dauntless, Stalwart, Redoubtable, Magnificent, Impressive, Vigilant, Guardian, Starfleet Veteran, Empire Veteran, and Republic Veteran. And sadly for the console players, the one thing that we get on PC is a Zen stipend. Sadly, you guys do not get that. You can blame Microsoft and Sony for that one and everything, but even without the 500 Zen stipend a month, it definitely pays for itself. You get quite a bit of stuff, and when you total up the Zen value of everything, you're well more than paying for itself in terms of value as far as all of the stuff goes.
Yes, and one thing to note about the dill, to access that 1,000 dill refinement, you will go to Starfleet Academy. There will be a person right outside the main academy building. You talk to him, do a dock mission, and in 48 hours 1,000 dill will be refined. So essentially, with that and the dill mine, once you guys have that maxed up, you will essentially be able to do 10,000 dill.
And as another mystery person in our channel has been kind enough to point out, one of our admins that kind of listens in on the show has pointed out, says that the Android buff is claimed at the buff vendor after you reach a certain level. So that is one thing to keep in mind as well.
Yes, and Android buffs are very, very good as ground bridge officers.
Oh yeah.
So they're really good for away team bridge officers. They're exceptionally sturdy. They take a heck of a beating, and if they do manage to die, they have a self-res. So, excellent, excellent ground bridge officers.
Indeed. Combination I do like to do from time to time is actually an Android bridge officer with one of my Jem'Hadar bridge officers if you've done the mission. So that combination in and of itself I find to be absolutely insane. But yeah.
Yeah, what I like to do is my science Android bridge officer, my Orion from the diplomacy rank 4, Jem'Hadar, and one of my intel people. The enemy won't be able to target the bridge officers whatsoever.
Oh yeah. Definitely some very good tips from Neela for our ground pounders out there, and people that just enjoy kicking the living daylights out of stuff.
Which I just want to also put in there. At some point, I will probably be working on putting together a ground team again to go through infected ground, Kittimer ground, cure ground, and do those on elite.
Indeed. But anyways, folks, we will have the link to this blog once this local recording goes up on YouTube for you guys and everything. That way you'll be able to take a look at the list, see everything that you get, and see if it's something that you would be interested in investing in. But anyways, coming up on our next blog, we have our RP blog, Fortunes of War and Peace.
And this is me, yep. So, basically, this one talks about the Armory class ship. I did like this, I read it, and it actually has a lot of references to the Next Generation episode Unification that was mentioned earlier, where this ship comes from. So it talks about the four-hand or four-armed piano player, and it talks about her singing Melor Famagal, which, if you watch the episode, that was something she sang when a fat Ferengi came in. Talked about her husband dying. It talked about the other song that Worf liked, the Klingon opera Aktu and Melota, and it did quite a few things. I'm trying not to give away too much here, but catch all the references. But yeah, Amory is definitely um, trying to get her money out of these ships in this blog. And there's something shady going on. Any other comments, guys?
Indeed, it's definitely a fun blog. This was one that I actually did manage to read before the show this time. Surprise, surprise. But
Hey.
I definitely did get a kick out of some of the references. Probably, I believe I could reference this without giving too much away. It references why it shouldn't have taken on a Galaxy-class cruiser, especially with a Klingon at tactical.
Klingon at tactical. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
Basically, it gives the backstory as far as the lore-wise for how the ships appear in game. Definitely worth a good read. Any comments, Neela?
I like the fact. I like the fact that my cat just decided to say hi at that, but where was it? Where she was like, probably the only good thing her third husband ever did, and the fact that why did he ever decide to tussle with a Galaxy class cruiser?
Oh yeah.
With a Klingon at tactical.
Oh, I rolled whenever they put that up, but it's pretty much all of our major blogs and everything for this week. There's actually a lot less of them than we're used to seeing. But, anyways, we will have this in the notes for you guys, so you can check that out once the local recording goes up and everything. But, moving along, we have our budget build for this evening, and our budget build is actually one of the ships that, if I could go to the right dang screen, is actually one of the ships that comes from the Temporal Agent Pack, and this is the Ranger-class battlecruiser. Now, currently, the photo on the STO builder, for whatever reason, is borked, so we won't actually have a picture of the ship as we usually do, but we can see everything else. Now, basically, a bunch of us were sitting around BSing the other day, and we figured, why not do something over the Ranger? It's a nice ship that you get at Tier 5. You can use it as early as level 40, and it's quite versatile. For this particular ship, I decided to hook it up with phasers as its main weapons, and we did utilize the Quantum Phase set. As you can see, we have the Quantum Phase Beam Array, the Torp, and then down in Engineering we have the Universal Quantum Phase Converter. Now, the Quantum Phase Converter basically functions as a free tactical console, and the fact that it gives phaser damage. Now, the strengths in the Quantum Phase set obviously come from the 3-set ability, which is a nice little damage dealer. Then also the Quantum Phase Torpedo in and of itself packs a pretty good punch. As far as the remaining weapons, we decided to go with the DMG ×2 phaser beams. Now, these come from the Everything Old is New mission. You can get them guaranteed at Mark 11 Blues for either DMG ×2 or Crit D2s. If you're somebody that prefers a more cannon type of build and want to go with TOS era phasers, they do offer a twin phaser array from that mission that is a Crit H DMG. It's not as good mod-wise, I think, as the Pedigree beams, but if you're somebody that wants a cannon look, I do feel it was worthy of a note. As far as the deflector, engine's warp core, something you've seen us use quite a few times here on the show, because it is one of the better sets you can get for free, in my opinion, from the missions and everything, is the Soul Defense Space set. Now, what makes the Soul Defense set good is the fact that it grants you, for having just 2 pieces of it equipped, essentially a free neutronium armor in terms of the resistance values that it gives you. When you have the 3 set, you can also engage a very potent heal that, depending on what ship you put it on, can heal your ship from almost dead all the way back to full, depending on the ship itself. And of course, because this set does not come with a warp core, we had to go out and source one, and the one that we like to use a lot of the times here on PRS is actually the Temporal Phase Overcharged core. Now, the reason we use this core is because of the capacitor it gives. Now, if you're somebody that has a Delta Recruit, then you probably know of the device known as the Temporal Negotiator. Whenever you used the Temporal Negotiator, it would cut your Bridge Officer cooldowns in half for the duration of the effect, and the Warp Core Capacitor on the Temporal Phase Core actually does the same thing. So that is one reason why we wanted to have that, because it is a nice little cooldown reduction in a pinch. As far as our device slots go, one device that we always like to recommend, myself and Kirby especially, is the Subspace Field Modulator. This is a nice little device that comes from the Skirmish mission. Now, the one downside to it that we have started mentioning because of more protonic weapons being introduced recently is that although this device does give you some good energy damage resistances and everything, it does also debuff you for a minus 400 protonic resistance. So it is something to be aware of and everything. Up until now, there wasn't really a lot of protonic weapons or any type of thing that did protonic damage, so we didn't usually mention it before, but with some of the newer weapons, it is something that we do want people to be aware of. As far as our console layout, you can see it is a 4 engineering, 2 science, and 3 tactical. For our other engineering consoles, of course, we have the quantum phase converter. We have the 0-point energy conduit that comes from the Romulan reputation. We also have the Trillium deplating that comes from Ragnarok. Then, I also decided to keep the photonic decoy beacon that comes with the ship. It is a nice little thing that you can use in an emergency situation to hopefully draw aggro from yourself for a little bit. And those photonic decoys, whenever they start letting loose, can be pretty nasty. For our science consoles, we also have the Universal Assimilated Module from the Omega reputation, and then finally a Restorative Particle Focuser, Control X, and EPG from the Crenum Science Lab. Now, if you want a bit more power for your exotic abilities or your science powers, then one thing I had explored was leaving off the Trillium D, moving the Assimilated to Engineering, and running 2 of the Restorative Focusers. Then as far as the tactical consoles go, we have 3 of the Phaser Relays Mark 12. These come from the Of Signs Importance mission, the same mission that you get the Braden set from. So you can get some really good tactical consoles on the cheap. Then as far as our equipment goes, that's pretty much what we've got there. Take a quick look at skills and everything, then we will finish off with the bridge officers and traits. As far as skills, this is pretty much the standard build that I usually go with. You can kind of see what we've got here in the Lieutenant tree. And in the Lieutenant Commander, we did pick up the extra power gen, a point in Impulse Expertise. We did pick up the improved Control X and Drain X. We did pick up all 3 points of our targeting expertise because we do want to offset that penalty to accuracy that is now present in FAW. And also, I believe the torpedo spread has it too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. I don't use the ability too awful much. Then there's the advanced defensive maneuvering. I also picked up the 3 points in the hull plating because free defense is nice. The improved shield hardness. And we did max out the weapon amplification and specialization. Now, the specialization did take a slight nerf as of Season 13, and it now gives only 4% crit chance instead of the old 6, but it is still definitely worth picking up. The weapon amplification, however, has actually doubled from 20% to 40%, so that is pretty good. Then I actually picked up the shield penetration, whereas Kirby would prefer the hull penetration. It basically comes down to, what do you value more? Do you value getting through the shields more, or do you value potentially bypassing a little bit of armor? There really is no right or wrong answer between those two. Either one will work well for you, and you can actually make arguments for either one, but it is something that we do need to mention. As far as the other engineering powers, we did pick up the offensive and defensive subsystem tuning. We also did pick up the warp core potential, because extra power is always good. We did put 2 points in the exotic particle gens and everything, in case we did decide to utilize certain science powers. We also have the long-range targeting sensors maxed out, so we can make sure our drop-off penalty is as low as possible. And also the shield absorption ability, because it still does negate some pretty potent hits every so often, and it is worth having in my opinion. For our specializations, I have here Pilot as the primary for some of the nice defensive abilities it gives, and to allow the pilot of the ship to pick up a little bit of extra damage potential, potentially, no pun intended there, is the Intelligence specialization. So it was actually a combination that I ran a while back and everything. I just believe the Intel specialization has some abilities that play very nicely with the Ranger in this situation. But moving along to our bridge officer powers, you can see the setup that the ship has. It has an Ensign Universal, a Lieutenant Commander Tactical, an Ensign Tac, Commander Engineer, and Lieutenant Commander Science. So a very versatile ship in my opinion. For the Ensign Universal, I slotted that as a Tactical Officer, and we have that as our Torpedo Spread 1 to benefit our Quantum Phase Torpedo. Then in Lieutenant Commander Tactical, we have a Tactical Team 1, an Attack Pattern Beta 1, and a Fire at Will 3. Then for the Ensign Tactical, we have a Torpedo High Yield 1. For Commander Engineering, we have a Engineering Team 1, about brain farted there for a second, a Reverse Shield Polarity, Emergency Power to Weapons 3, and also a Warp Bubble 3 ability. The Warp Bubble is a free ability that you get from the Broken Circles mission and everything, and I don't know why they've not fixed this yet. This says Warp Bubble 1 on the thing, but it should actually be Warp Bubble 3 in the builder. But something that's been around for a while. Then for the Lieutenant Commander Science, I have that set up as a Science Team 1. This allows us a little bit of shield regen, as well as purging certain effects, such as the subnucleonic type effects. Then we also have the Hazard Emitters 2, because obviously of the benefits it provides, as well as the healing and purging certain things like plasma fires. Then we also have a Gravity Well 1. Now, Gravity Well is, in my opinion, still a very nice ability to have and everything, even after some of the changes and whatnot, and overall, still a very nice little control power. But, anyways, hopefully you can kind of see what I'm going for as far as the bridge officer layout for the ship goes. Then as far as the traits, we have the Accurate trait. If I could use the builder worth of crap today. This will offset some of our penalties to certain spreads and abilities. Then we have Beam Barrage. This comes from level 15 in the R&D Crafting School of Beams. And we do occasionally use these traits because they are free and anybody can get them. It's assumed that when we do use them, that you've been leveling at least one, maybe two of the R&D Crafting Schools, and have hopefully hit level 15 pretty close to the time that you're ready to make the ship. Then we also have the Beam Training ability. This is a free trait that you get. Elusive for the free defensive value. Then we have Grace Under Fire slotted. This is mainly because the builder defaults to engineers. If you are not an engineer, then you'll simply replace the Grace Under Fire with your own career-specific ability, be it a science captain or a tactical. Then finally, we have Fleet Coordinator for free damage based on party size, the Nanite Repair Matrix from the Midnight Mission, then we have Point Blank Shot from House Peg, and also the Operative ability. For Starship traits, we have the Best Defense. This is another free trait that you can get from the House Peg mission that grants your attack patterns a healing buff along with normal effects. Then we also have the Predictive Algorithms trait, which is a very nice bit of accuracy whenever it's slotted, that comes from your Intel specialization, and then also the Pedal to the Metal from Pilots. Then for our space reps, we have the Advanced Target Systems for free severity, Precision for free crit hit chance, the Advanced Engines for flight and turn rate, and then also one of my personal favorites, the Chronocapacitor, for a bit more of Bridge Officer cooldown reduction. And finally, for our active reputations, we have Anti-Time Entanglement Singularity from Temporal, the Biomolecular Shield Generator from the 8472, which is a very nice defensive power to have in space, and will manifest itself as a giant green sphere that you may see people using occasionally. Then we have the Quantum Singularity Manipulation that comes from the Romulan reputation, which will also buff your science stats for a short time. Myself and Kirby always like to hit our Quantum Singularity Manipulation and then follow up with Anti-Time Entanglement and perhaps even our Gravity Wells as well, as that makes them a lot more potent. And finally, we have the Deploy Sensor Interference Platform from the Iconian rep. It's a nice little, hopefully I don't die button.
Now, see, I would put the Nukara, the Refracting Tetrion Cascade, because that's a nice little get close to a group and pop that off, and it just bounces between all the enemies. That was my husband dropping a bottle of water.
Indeed.
That you heard there, yeah.
Yep.
Which is a nice DPS thing. Good.
That's actually what I was going to say. It is a very potent little ability in groups like that, especially if you're already running Tetrions anyways. It can be pretty nasty. So you do have some options as far as rep abilities and everything goes. As far as the overall budget, again, this was a bare bones budget. We usually do these when the budget is unknown, or we're assuming not a lot of resources are available to start with. The bare bones budgets assume that all of your resources have been spent in order to acquire the ship, and what you have left is what you're using to kit the ship out, or you just didn't have a lot of stuff to work with to start. But as far as the overall cost of the ship go, we did point out where you can get everything as far as the missions and everything. The major things that you have to spend any real resources on are the assimilated module, the 0-point console, and the restorative particle focuser. Now, the assimilated module and 0-point are 15,000 dilithium apiece. The restorative particle focuser, blah, words, is 2,500. Now, it'll take you about 5 days to accumulate the dilithium purely due to the dilithium refinement cost, but overall, everything, the ship turned out pretty decently well, I believe. Any comments, questions, anything from our panel?
No, it actually looks quite good.
Yeah. Really not much to say about it. Seems like it will do a really good job.
But yeah. No, I personally actually like the Ranger. It's I use leveling a lot, and good lord, what is going on in front of my tune. But, actually see if I can't get some stats for you guys. But the Ranger itself, you can kind of see that's what it actually looks like and everything. But one thing to mention with this ship that will make it very, very potent is it does feature the molecular deconstruction mechanic, that comes with the temporal ships. So combine that with your 3 set of the quantum phase, and you're talking quite a bit of damage going out.
Yes.
But overall, the ship also does turn a lot quicker than most cruisers. I believe it's I want to think it was a 14 base turn, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look before I could tell you exactly again. But, yeah, that's pretty much the Ranger class and everything. But, one final note on this, and we will move along to the Bugs Corner, and finally Teacher's Corner, is keep an eye out on future PRS episodes. We have had a couple of requests from people to take a ship like the Ranger, and then start off at the bare bones end, and then show you guys the ship as we work up through the mid-range budgets, and potentially even high-end later on. So, occasionally, we may start doing that. For the budget builds, if you've got one you'd like to see us do, feel free to let us know. Let us know your budget, the ship, and everything. If there's any equipment you already have you want to incorporate, and we'll see what we can come up with for you. It could be a tank, it could be a DPS, it could be whatever. But one little bug I do have for the Bugs Corner, and it actually involves this new ship. And if you're not careful when you're first beaming into your bridge, normally it tries to beam you in close to the captain's table. I have had or the captain's chair, blah. I have had a couple of instances where I've actually appeared inside that chair that this bridge officer has been sitting in, and haven't been able to get out of it. So that is something I did want to mention for people there that get their new ship. But moving along, we have our Teacher's Corner segment of the evening. What have you got for us, Teacher Kirby?
Basically, this week, I talked about the isokinetic cannon. It's part of a 3-piece set, and it's actually quite a nice little attack especially if you're a science captain with high part gens. So, because it does scale with particle generators. So yeah, check it out, comments.
Seems pretty good. Definitely a weapon I love to use occasionally. And
yeah,
I'd actually like to see more use out of it. More people using it again, because that was a fun little thing.
I know, it's one of those that doesn't get used very often. I think because you have to put a Polaron beam in order to get the 3-piece. But the lovely thing with a science boat is that there's quite a few science boats that don't use the tactical consoles to boost their damage type. So they can put any damage type they want. Because their consoles, all of their consoles are boosting their science. You know what I mean? They're boosting their science abilities. So you can mix and match. You can put a Polaron with a Tetrion with an antiproton if you choose to, or if you need to fill out a set, which is very handy. So just for thought.
Yeah, definitely check that out, guys, and we will have a link to Teacher's video for everybody that is curious about this little weapon. But anyways, that's pretty much the show that we have for this evening. Sadly, Artie was not able to join us, so we apologize to the RP guys. We don't really have an RP corner this week for you all. Hopefully Artie will be back this next week and everything, and we will be back
if he escapes the rainbow dashes.
That is true. If he escapes the rainbow dashes that have come seeking their revenge. But
she brought him to life, so they escaped the holodeck, you know.
Also, check out our friends over at the Temporal Armada and on their radio station for lots of cool stuff. These guys were kind enough to sponsor us. Everything. Also, if you'd like to see Pilot Review Show out at Las Vegas again this year, we do have a GoFundMe that you can help support the show for us and with us and everything. Any little bit helps. This helps to cover some of our expenses, such as the electricity, such as internet, and get that Gornalicious away from me. Yep, nope, not going there. And it just got weird. But, yeah. Every little bit helps if you do decide to support us through the GoFundMe. And even if you're somebody that doesn't have any cash to spare, just spreading the word helps. And we are grateful for any and all support that you guys are willing to give us. Because without you, the viewers out there, we would not have a show. But if you'd like to see more impromptu interviews, such as maybe getting Garrett Wong again, or some of the other actors, like Kirby was able to do this last year, feel free to toss some support our way. But,
Yes, definitely.
Anyways, folks, that's pretty much our show for this week. As always, let us know if you'd like to have us help improve your piloting. Feel free to submit videos for that sort of thing, and also budget build requests if you have something, and we'll see what we can do for you. Anyways, folks, this is the Pilot Review Show, and we are signing off.
Alonzi.
Bye.